How can a single dollar and a few lemons teach you pretty much everything you need to know about marketing? Well, today, we're going to follow the story of a girl named Mia and her lemonade stand to uncover some seriously powerful business secrets that, believe me, you can apply to almost anything.
So the whole journey kicks off with just $1 and one idea. But as we're about to find out, the real magic here isn't actually in the lemonade. Nope, it's all about the psychology of how you sell it. This is the one little phrase a curious girl named Mia found in a dusty old book. And honestly, it's the advice that sparks this entire story. It's such a simple idea, right? But it's really the foundation of all entrepreneurship. All right, so with just one single dollar to her name, Mia's journey is about to begin. But before she can even start thinking about lemons or sugar, there's a really fundamental business concept she's got to wrap her head around.
And that concept is financial literacy. I know it sounds kind of formal, but it just means knowing how to manage money wisely. For Mia, this was a game changer. It meant understanding that her $1 wasn't just a dollar, it was a tool.
And this was it. Her entire startup fund. One single dollar. That's all the money she had to get her idea off the ground. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you know what? With a good plan, it can be more than enough.
So, what's the very first step you take? You identify a problem. Mia just looked outside and saw people sweating in the hot sun. But she didn't just see hot people. She saw an opportunity. She saw a need that she could fill. And just like that, she found her target customer.
Okay, so Mia takes her dollar, she buys her lemons and sugar, makes a sign, and sets up her little stand. She has her product, she has her location. But, and this is something so many entrepreneurs discover the hard way, having a great product sometimes just isn't enough.
I mean, her sign seemed perfect, didn't it? Ice cold lemonade, only 50 cents. It's clear, it's descriptive, it has the price, it's got all the useful info, and yet nobody stopped. So why not? What was wrong? This little stat from Copyblogger pretty much explains everything. On average, 8 out of 10 people will read a headline, but only 2 are going to read the rest. Mia's sign was her headline, and it completely failed to spark any kind of curiosity. Now, this is where it gets smart. Mia realizes her mistake, but she doesn't change her lemonade recipe. She doesn't lower the price. She changes her pitch. She tapped into one of the most powerful psychological triggers that we have. Just look at the change. Secret Super Lemonade. Whoa. Suddenly, it wasn't just a drink anymore. It was a mystery. People were intrigued. What is the secret? What makes it super? And notice, the price isn't even on the sign anymore. There's this quote from marketing expert Stephen Brown that just captures this strategy perfectly. By holding back information, by teasing and tantalizing your audience, you create what he calls an insatiable desire. Mia wasn't just selling lemonade anymore. She was selling the answer to a riddle. What Mia did here is she activated something researchers call the secrecy heuristic. It's just a mental shortcut. Our brains are basically wired to believe that if something is a secret, it must be more valuable. So by simply calling her lemonade a secret, she instantly boosted its perceived value without changing a single drop. So let's get into the science here. What's actually behind Mia's successful second sign? Well, it all comes down to a really fundamental driver of human behavior: pure curiosity. It's called the curiosity gap. Psychologist George Lowenstein described it as a mental itch, and it's so true. When there's a gap between what we know and what we want to know, our brain desperately needs to scratch it. Mia's new sign created a massive itch. People knew there was a secret, but they had to buy the lemonade to find out what it was. I mean, the difference is just night and day. The first sign gave all the information away. It answered every question before you could even ask it. The second sign did the exact opposite. It created questions, and it invited people into a story. You see, a secret immediately divides your audience into 3 groups. You've got the insiders who know the secret, in this case, just Mia. Then you have the aspirants. They know a secret exists, and they are desperate to get in on it. Those are her new customers. And finally, you have the outsiders, the people who ignored her first sign. The whole goal of marketing like this is to turn those outsiders into aspirants. So, soon enough, Mia sold every last drop of her secret lemonade. Her marketing pivot was a massive success. But the story's not over yet. In fact, maybe the most important business lesson was just around the corner. Let me ask you a question. Mia collected $20. Did she make $20? This is a trap that a lot of first-time entrepreneurs fall into. She's holding 20 bucks, but is that her profit? The answer, of course, is no. The money you collect is just your revenue, your sales. It's not the same as the money you actually get to keep.
And this is just lemonade stand economics 101. She made $20 in sales, but after you subtract her $17 in costs for the lemons, the sugar, the cups, all of it, her actual profit was just $3.
And this simple math, this is one of the most vital lessons in business. Mia learned that true success isn't just about sales, it's about profit. She learned she had to understand her numbers, track every single cost, and now she can use that $3 profit to reinvest and grow her business for tomorrow. And that brings us right back to the beginning. Mia's journey just illustrates this idea perfectly. She started with a tiny $1 investment, but by thinking big, by applying smart lessons in marketing, psychology, and finance, she learned things that are worth way more than the $3 she made. At the end of the day, Mia's story shows us that every great idea kind of has a secret at its core. The most powerful marketing doesn't just sell a product, it sells a mystery and invites people to solve it. It makes them feel like an insider. So I guess that leaves just one question. What's your secret?